What's going on, guys? PokemonRadar here, back again with another podcast episode. We are doing collectors with cards, drinking coffee, so grab yourself a cup of joe. We are recording at night, so it feels a little weird to say good morning, but good morning. Today we have a special guest, someone that kind of started to do YouTube himself. And if you haven't checked them out, you got to see his intros. They're fantastic. We have someone from across the border. We're going international this week. We got Sacari. Sebastian.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you doing? Oh, I already asked that.
Good. So Sacari, is that pronounced correctly here? You're also
Sacari, yes.
Pokeboo on Instagram, pulling it up here. Sacari.
Yeah.
On the YouTubes.
Man of many names.
Very cool. Yeah. So we've never really had the chance to talk. We've had some back and forths on Discord, of course, and
yeah, I noticed when you're on Discord, I tend to be at work. Like I'll have my lunch break and I'll open up Discord, so I think it's a bit of a time zone issue.
Okay, gotcha. Also, I don't work anymore, so I'm just on there.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So,
freedom.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to put it. But so tell us a little bit about yourself. Who's Sacari? How long? I feel like you just kind of hopped into E4, at least Discord, not too long ago. Maybe like this year.
I was a hard lurker on E4 because for the beginnings of like collecting Pokemon cards, I was still just like, this isn't cool. And so I'm like, oh man, to join a forum with a bunch of other nerds and dorks, it just seems so weird. So I was just kind of like lurking, and I don't know, I probably did that for like a year before I finally like made an account and then posted. And then I was on E4 for quite a while, and I was like, oh, there's an E4 Discord. Now that's just too nerdy for me. And then I eventually joined Discord. I absolutely love it, and now I use Discord way more than the forums actually.
Good. Same here. Yeah. So, well, congratulations. Welcome to nerd culture. And I was in the same boat for a while, but yeah, I decided to say, screw it. I'm a nerd. I love this stuff. Let's connect with some more nerds. So,
yeah, me too.
All right, very cool. Well, when did you start like collecting then? So you said you were looking for like a year. When was that?
Well, when I was a child, like right when Pokemon came out, I was collecting, or like at least in North America. But it was probably 2015 when I started up again.
Okay, so yeah, let's start with 1999. You grew up in Canada.
Yeah.
Did you grow up near a big city?
Yes, Vancouver in British Columbia.
Oh, so you're way out west.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I've never been out there, but would love to.
Oh, you should.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's literally one of the best places on earth. When I travel, it makes me realize I don't want to move.
That's a good feeling, I guess. Yeah, they got a lot going on out there, and great fish.
Yeah. It's just
so growing up in Vancouver, I mean, you're fairly close to Seattle, right near Wizards of the Coast. So, were you guys getting good stuff then? Do you remember what it was like when Pokemon first came in? How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, so am I. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, you're same age. You're what, 9 years old? 6 years old. 1999. 7.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, so I would have been 6 because I would remember being in kindergarten. So it would have been like late in kindergarten when like we got Pokemon cards. As for like good stuff, I don't know. It's so hard to say because I was so young at the time, and it's just like anything I saw was amazing to me. Like, I didn't even know there was first edition until I rejoined the hobby as like a young adult.
Okay.
Like as a kid, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know about Shadowless.
Right.
Like even when I was younger, I didn't understand like the differences between sets. So I'd just be like, oh, this has cool artwork on the pack. Like I want that one. I had no idea. Like I didn't. Maybe I like kind of understood like this pack might not have the same cards as this one, but I had no idea what I was gonna get. I didn't really understand sets or anything like that.
Okay.
It was just every pack was completely blind to me. So yeah, I was way too young to like to be going, oh, like here where I'm close to Wizards of the Coast, so we're getting a lot of cool stuff.
Right,
And,
right.
and in addition to that, like I grew up not very like financially well,
Mm-hmm.
so this I'm gonna tell this first because it'll probably make everything else I say a bit more impactful.
Okay.
But like when I was a kid, I rarely got booster packs.
Yeah.
Like that was a treat. Like there was an event of some kind if I got a booster pack.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, my mom would like buy a booster pack and then give me one card at a time over the course of like
Oh,
days or weeks,
wow.
which is why I get so annoyed when people are like, "Oh, scalpers are ruining the hobby for kids, and little 6-year-olds can't get Champions Path Elite Trainer boxes." And it's just like, I remember as a little kid, like my mom giving me like a Ponyta from base set, like a common card. And I was like losing it. I was super excited.
All right. So
Yeah,
you were 6 or 7. Were you following like an
yeah.
older brother or older sister that got into this before you?
No,
Was it?
I um I just loved it. Like I don't even know how it started. It was just suddenly
Was it the anime, the
Pokemon was
game, the? It was just
a bit
it
of
was just
every.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just everywhere, and it was just so awesome. And at the time, like sometimes you'd open up a pack or see some cards another kid had, and you would just see like first gen Pokemon that you had never seen before because it
Really?
was just so like new. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh,
like
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
someone be like, oh, like they'd have like a Rhyhorn card, and I'm like, I've never seen that, and like you'd be watching the anime. So you're still really young,
Mm-hmm.
so and like I didn't even touch. I like had never even been on a computer when I was that old. So like there was no internet access for me. I couldn't look these things up. And like when you'd be watching the show and it's like memes now where it's like, who's that Pokemon? There
Mm-hmm.
were some times where I just didn't know who that Pokemon was.
Yeah.
They would just show the silhouette. Like I'd be like, I don't know, who is it?
That's hilarious because I had the
Yeah.
like the books like the Pojo books or whatever were out then, so like I was
Mm,
right on it right away, and I was using those guides for the game, so I knew every Pokemon like
yeah.
right off the bat.
I
I remember that feeling from seeing um shoot, what's that little like rhino looking Pokemon Gen 2? Shoot.
like Donphan.
Yeah, Donphan. Donphan showed up in the
Yeah.
beginning of one of the movies, and I was like, "Whoa, who's that?"
Yeah.
That's I have that. Yeah, that's the feeling that I think. Yeah, that I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gen 1, I was on top of it. I was like, I know all these guys. I knew exactly who that Pokemon was. So I was.
What yeah, once Gen 2 rolled around, then I was like on top of it, but for the beginnings I wasn't. I eventually my mom got me like a poster that had every Pokemon except Mew. So every
Yeah.
Pokemon released at that time.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Of
was
course.
really cool.
Okay. So you're not getting too many packs. I mean,
No.
I, I grew up, lower middle class and all that, so we were, uh, fine, and I would get packs pretty frequently, I guess. Never like booster boxes or anything, but I obviously birthday, Christmas, whatever, and then maybe every now and then when we went to the mall, we'd get some. But so you started with base set. I mean, this is a young age. How long did this continue for you with Pokemon? Because for me, it stopped pretty early. It was silver version, and I was done with Gen 1 cards.
Yeah.
So how far
I
did you
would
get?
say as far as like the set, it was one of the Neo sets where
Mhm.
like I don't know if I made it all the way to Neo Destiny, but somewhere along the way, like I kind of fell off, and then I rejoined again very very briefly, um, near the beginning of a Nintendo E series.
Okay.
So I remember I bought like a deck, and it was like an EX Dragon theme deck,
Mm.
and so I was in that for like maybe just a couple months, and then I was back out again, and then I only rejoined years later.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that stuff I just wasn't even aware of. I had no idea. And
Yeah,
it even took a while, like once I got back into the hobby, to figure out that they actually still did Pokemon during that time frame.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
because yeah, I was just so focused on what I had as a kid, and like I did kind of obviously Evolutions came out, um,
hmm
but so you got back in 2015, which
yeah.
is slightly earlier than me. What was the thing that brought you back?
Um, actually, I want to tell one story because this is like one of my favorite childhood Pokemon stories, so I want to
Okay.
rewind a bit,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then I want to jump into this.
Okay.
So keep in mind, I was used to getting like one card at a time.
Mm-hmm.
One day, I had like a play date, and a friend came over to my house, and little did I know, my mom had like two booster packs just like hidden away in a cupboard, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "Oh, he has a friend over. I'll give him some. I'll give him them now." So she gives one pack to my friend and one pack to me. So I'm like, "Oh my god, like a whole booster pack. This is awesome." So I'm super excited. I rip open my pack, nothing in there. My friend rips open the pack my mom just gave to him. Base set Charizard.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so upset because that would have been mine if my friend hadn't come over.
And if you waited a
Uh,
year to get a card every couple weeks.
yeah, who knows? By the time I opened that, I probably wouldn't have even liked Pokemon anymore. Like, I still think about that because again, like I didn't know about first edition,
Mm-hmm.
so I always look back at that like maybe that Charizard was first
Was it?
edition.
Was
I
it?
just
Was it?
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dang. I mean, was there?
but
Were you playing with like a lot of friends doing this at all at school back
like
then?
the actual card
The
game,
card game, yeah. Here.
it was interesting because with Pokemon, it was all about like collecting. It
Right.
was like the TV show, like gotta catch them all. So you just like accumulated Pokemon cards. But then when Pokemon started to fall off and like Yu-Gi-Oh was a thing, Yu-Gi-Oh was all about like actually playing the game.
Okay.
Like none of my friends even knew how to play Pokemon.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so rejoin the hobby. There's like a lot of different reasons that kind of led to that. I don't even like realize all of them right away. But how it started, I was in university
Mm-hmm.
and I was on summer break. So during that time, I went to Alberta and I like worked on my uncle's property for a month while I was down there. And because like I had some money saved up, so because I worked before I went to university, so I had money, but like not a lot. Like I couldn't just blow it,
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, like I wouldn't eat.
Right.
But I got a bit more money when I was working for my uncle, and the whole time I was there, there's like not much to do, so I was spending a lot of time on the internet, and I was just getting like nostalgia kicks. I don't know how to describe it, and I was like, huh, what should I do with this money? And this like thought was just so strong in my head, and thought was simply just like, I want to complete the original 151 in Pokemon cards, which I never did as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And like childhood me would be so happy with myself if I did that today. So I was just like on eBay and just doing so much research, just like every single day, like a couple hours when I was done working for my uncle, just looking stuff up, researching, figuring out things, learn like I'm like, oh, first edition. Oh my Shadowless, like what's this? And like just buying stuff. So I was buying cards and they're going to my home and I was still in Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finished working there and I flew back home, I like went from not having a collection to like having a collection
Yeah.
like instantly.
That's
Because
pretty
like
cool.
I just had all this mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I started going back to university. So I had to be like, and like I still carry this like thought throughout me. Both it's kind of like both because like I didn't grow up with a lot of money, and both because when I started out collecting, I like didn't have a lot of money, so um, I had to be like really careful with like how I spent. I had to be really thoughtful about it. Like I couldn't just buy whatever.
Well, what were you buying? Did you? So, well, this thought that came into your head to collect 151. Were you watching PokeTubers? Were you watching Gem at Pokemon or these guys, or was it just like a
No,
random?
it was I couldn't even tell you like what brought it on.
Mm-hmm.
It was just telling me like I love Pokemon,
Yeah.
and it's just been like it's like I've forgotten for all these years, and it
Mm-hmm.
just like all came back to me, and it started out, you know, I was learning about like sets and whatnot. I'm like, okay, like, and I'm like, has anyone else done this before? And I looked on the internet, and like other people had. So what I am doing is like I got every like monster card of base set, jungle, and fossil, and then a promo for Mew,
All
and then
unlimited.
eventually yes, because I wanted them to be uniform, and again, like money was an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So all raw, all unlimited, because I was like, first, if I get first edition, then all the base set cards are going to be shadowless, and then all the jungle and fossil cards aren't going to be, and it's going to be like weird.
Yeah.
So that's why that's that, and like
Money and
yeah, money is why I bought unlimited. So that's what I was buying, And when I started out buying, I was really thinking like, what's the cheapest way to go about doing this? And what I decided on was just I buy collections, take out all the cards I want, and then sell the ones I don't want. And I figured it's more work, but I don't really have the money to just like buy whatever I want. So I think I have to put more effort and work into it.
That's what I did with Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
The score stuff. Like I would just buy collections, go through it, finish my binders, and then just sell off lots and get back whatever I could.
Yeah.
So
sometimes I buy a collection, pull out the cards I wanted, and then sell the leftover ones for more than what I had paid for.
Yeah.
Which was always really nice.
Yeah. That's unfortunately that's kind of dead now. That's not a thing that can really.
I don't do that anymore.
It's
just
you can't find it.
Like no, collections are gone.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But I wish I had done that with Pokemon because then I would have been able to build up more of an inventory.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, were you aware of graded cards then, like right away? Because for me, I didn't even like think of it. I thought it was a joke. I was like, people like, why wouldn't you have it in a binder? Like that's what we had. Is like this is the best way. Like I didn't consider it.
Yeah. Like I watched a ton of your previous interviews, and the one I saw with PFM, I like that one because I kind of related to how we collect. Like we collect a lot of the same things and in similar ways, but where he was saying, oh, like the money I could spend on 10s would be, I could take it so much further if I bought 9s. I was just like, instead of buying graded, just raw cards could take me so much further.
Yeah.
And it's and they take up more room and they're harder to display. And again, like when I first did this collection, I made a big poster and had like sleeves in there, and I had all of the cards in that poster, and I had it hung up on my wall. And eventually, like, I was moving, and then I was like, no, this is dumb. Just put it in a binder. But imagine if trying to do something like that with graded cards.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Take up your.
But I'm getting more into graded cards now because like I'm done a lot of my collecting goals, so it's kind of trying to find the next thing.
Wow.
But when I started,
it probably
took me like 2 years to get my first graded card. Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, what was your original collecting goal was just to complete the 151 basically, and what did you do after that?
Second gen.
Second gen, okay.
Yeah, and then the numbered Wizards of the Coast promos.
Okay. Did you get to the E series or?
Yes.
So you did the entire WotC. You have full binder sets of WotC.
Yes, I'm not done. Like, I was trying to get like all the WotC hollows, and then I'm very close, but I'm not finished just yet. Okay. There's just a couple of like E series cards and maybe a handful of promos. Like I'm missing like 1 or 2 Masaki promos, but yeah, I finished the original first gen, and then before I was even done that, I was already starting second gen. And when I was doing second gen, I actually did in Japanese instead of English, which is kind of odd for most people. Like I can see you being like, why?
It takes away that uniformity you wanted.
Pardon me?
It takes away that uniformity you wanted.
Yeah, it does. But how do I explain this? So when I was a kid growing up, like I'll tell this story. So my grandparents would have exchange students every now and then, and for a while they had this very lovely girl who was in university who was from Japan. And like when I'd go visit my grandparents, she'd like play with me, and it's just like a very friendly, nice person. And then she eventually went back to Japan, and while she was there, she mailed me 2 of those Neo folders that had all 3 of the second gen starters, like Typhlosion, Meganium, for Alligator. And at the time, me and no one else on the playground had any idea what they were. So it blew us away, especially me. I'm like, I own these. Like, no one even knows what these are. Like, it's crazy. It's like, I remember being at a daycare once, and we had like there's tons of like people from other countries come to like Vancouver, BC, like all the time. So it's not that uncommon that we have people from other countries. And anyways, at this daycare, there was a kid from Japan, and we had like a show and tell, and he showed like a plastic toy of Lugia and said it was a Pokemon. And I'm like, no, I know every single Pokemon. That's not a Pokemon. And we got in a fight over it. And yeah, I guess I was wrong. But whenever like we saw second gen stuff, it was just like leaked out of Japan. We just didn't have it in English yet. So my first like introductions to second gen cards were Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when I was collecting, I didn't even understand why. I'm just like, for some reason, I have like an attachment to Japanese second gen cards that doesn't go for first gen cards.
Yeah.
And like, it was really weird. Like, I didn't even realize why at first until like I just thought about it for a while, and then it just hit me, and I was like, oh, because I grew up with like second gen Japanese cards because we got them so much earlier before English.
Yeah.
So yeah, and again, like a bit of a cost thing, but not as much because the Japanese cards were cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny because I mean, I think most of us share that same story of getting a second gen pack or something from somebody like well before they came to America. And like, I just feel like everybody here had one or two packs worth of Japanese cards in their
Yeah.
collections, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I felt the same way when I got that pack. I think I was out of Pokemon at the time. My dad's friend, who actually got me my job in the future that I just quit for the Japanese company. So back in the day, he
Yeah.
went to Japan with them, brought back some cards for us as kids, and yeah, I remember opening up a Hitmontop, and I was like, "This isn't a real Pokemon. I don't want these cards." Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so I just like threw them in a box, and I mean, they were
Uh,
there when I went back to get my collection. But it's funny because I just bought a collection from a Japanese person, and they
mhm.
had like one or two packs worth of English cards. So
Yeah,
it's just
that's
like the
cool.
same consistency between the two, which I thought was really funny. It was pretty cool. But so what are you most attached to then, Gen 1 or Gen 2?
Oh, I've thought about this a lot. It's really hard to say. Gen 1, 2, and 3 are my favorite gens. After that, it's just like select Pokemon I like,
Mm-hmm.
and there isn't from like 4 and onwards, there isn't like one gen where I'm like, I really like that one. It's
Right.
just Gen 1 to 3 that are my favorites. And Gen 3 is in third place. Gen 1 and 2, it's like neck and neck. It's really hard to say. I'm like, my two favorite Pokemon are Suicune and Mew. One's
Mm,
second gen, one's first gen. It's really hard for me to say which one is my overall favorite.
yeah. I mean, I can say like for the Game Boy game, Gen 2 is so far above, but for the trading card game,
Yes,
Gen 1 is
I
just
actually
as
agree
far
with that.
above for me. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's a battle in itself between those two. Um,
yeah.
so what what was like your first ever big purchase then? Since you
Um,
completed those unlimited and Japanese goals, what when did you first splurge? Being
like
a very mindful financial person.
I would probably say a first edition base set Charizard
I
was my first
saw that on
big
your
purchase.
Instagram.
Yeah,
Looks really nice. Um,
that's that purchase because it wasn't the only card I bought from that person. That overall purchase was probably one of the best purchases I made. Pretty interesting story because it was actually a Craigslist purchase.
mm,
So I passed on Charizards, first edition base set Charizards for less money than what I ended up paying,
right.
and I'm like, I just have to get this card, um, or like I might never be able to afford it. Because I realized pretty early on, because I'm always thinking about like the best way I can optimize my purchases, that even though like every year I maybe make a little bit more money at my job, I have a little bit more money saved up, and like maybe I'm getting some money through like just typical investing. Even so, like if my overall wealth is like going up, there are Pokemon cards that are simply just going to outpace that rate.
Yeah.
So I kind of realize like I kind of have to buy these cards now, or I might never be able to.
Hmm.
So I found this guy on Craigslist. He had a first edition base at Charizard. So I started messaging him, and he was a total ass. And if it was like any other card, I would have just backed out of the deal and like, man, this isn't worth it. He was asking, he wanted way too much. He was giving me like shitty pictures, kept saying like it's perfect, it's mint, and I could tell like even from the shitty picture, I'm like, it's not mint.
Hmm.
But I ended up meeting up with them to buy this card at a coffee shop, and I just like walk in there, and like a second guy comes up he didn't say anything about, like another guy, and they're both just like huge, and the second guy has just got like covered in tattoos and like face tattoos, and he's just like mean mugging me, and I'm like I'm about to get robbed. Like, and I'm just like, huh. And as soon as like we all sit down at this table, we're talking about it. I'm looking at the car. I start to pull out the money, and as soon as like I pull out the money, like the second guy is just like, and just like walks away. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. He just like made a huff and just like ran out of there. And then the guy who I was like doing the deal with was just like over text, he was just like really unpleasant, and then in person he was like all smiley, like, hey, like, how's it going, like super nice. And then before I left, he's like, oh yeah, I've got like a binder of other cards, like maybe you finish that. I'm like, but it's out at home. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that when we were texting before? So I ended up meeting him again, and again he wanted like he was saying like, oh, they're mint, and then, you know, they weren't like mint, but some of them were in pretty good condition, and he's just asking for like above market, and I'm like, this is my offer. I can't do more than that. And I'm meeting him again, and there was like tons of cards in there in the binder that he wasn't even showing in the pictures. So like, if you wanted more money, he probably should have showed me those cards and told me they were in there. But it was great because like,
when was this?
Like, sorry?
When was this?
Maybe 2017,
okay.
2018. Yeah. But this binder, it was one of the best purchases I ever made. It was like unlimited Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur, as well as like a Shadowless Blastoise and Venusaur, 2 first edition Mewtwo's, a first edition Chansey, maybe like a dozen other first edition holos, and like 15 unlimited holos, and like 50 not like regular rares and first edition rares and promos. So it was just like there was quite a bit of stuff in it, and like the binder alone is now worth more than what I paid for like everything. Even just like the Mewtwo's are worth more than what I paid for all of that.
What did you pay for it? How much was the Charizard?
You wanted 1,200 Canadian for the Charizard and
Back
300 for the binder.
2017, 1,200.
So
I sold on eBay, PSA 8 for 1,100 in 2017.
Really?
Yeah.
But that was US.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of hard in Canada, because when you start looking at items that are getting a little up there in price, you kind of start getting screwed over with import charges, right, and like shipping fees, and then currency exchange. So that your card probably would have been closer to like 2,000 Canadian for me back then, which was like starting to get past what I was willing to pay. And I think like at the time, like the cheapest ones on eBay were like 1,500 Canadian, like after shipping and everything. So like, if he had sold it on eBay, which he kept telling me he didn't want to do because he just had never done that before, he didn't really have any experience like selling stuff or really have any knowledge of Pokemon, he probably would have gotten less than what I had given him.
What is it going to grade? Have you graded it?
Mm-mm.
So you've had a raw first edition Charizard sitting in a binder for 3 years now.
It's in a semi-rigid sleeve.
Okay.
It's in my like 2-grade pile, but I'm not like in a rush to grade it.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I should. I don't know.
Well, you should have a long time ago, because now it's going to cost you $2,000 to grade it versus $20.
Yeah, but I wasn't super into grading at the time.
Yeah. But
it's probably like a 5.
Okay.
So not a crazy high grade.
It looks nice on the front. It looks great on the front from the.
It does. I was really the back just has like a good amount of edge wear, but aside from that, like the front's very clean.
Yeah, it looks beautifully centered. Nice thick stamp. Like that's a good looking.
Yeah.
That's a good looking binder card then.
It is.
I saw a couple of the other first editions. I think you had Poliwrath, Zapdos, and Chansey. I don't know if that was from the same purchase.
The Zapdos and Poliwrath were not.
Okay.
I had a friend in the States, and they went to a card shop. This was like one of the most random deals I've ever made, and they were just taking pictures of like Pokemon cards that had the card shop, and all of them were like okay prices, and then they just randomly had a first edition Poliwrath for $15, and I was like, buy that. This was like a year and a half ago, maybe.
Gosh, that's amazing.
So yeah, that was a really good price. But yeah, it's super rare that I get something that's just like under market value, like significantly. Like all my best purchases were my best purchases because they've increased in price so much over time, not that I just got them for
And you seem to be somewhat of a truer collector. You don't sell too much.
Recently I'm selling quite a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just because like prices I thought would take like 15 years to achieve are happening today.
Yeah.
But there's still some stuff where I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
increase the price another tenfold, and I'm not selling.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, that's pretty cool. I wish I was more like that. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, a lot of people are like
Hmm.
doing extremely well now because of Pokemon. It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing to see. Um, I mean, when did you decide to start doing YouTube? Since you're a big time YouTuber now, like me.
Yeah. No, celebrity status. Um, sorry, when?
Yeah,
It
when?
was
Let's see.
like only maybe 3 months ago. I think was my first video.
Okay.
Yeah. That was,
Look at
even
400
I'm
views, 500 views. You're killing it. You're doing way better than I am.
yeah. Sometimes the videos like I'm like my second video has the most amount of views, and when I started, I probably like the best piece of advice I saw was your first videos are gonna suck,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, probably. And that like knowing that it kind of like helped me get going, just because the idea is like you just have to get started.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
And,
My thumbnails are
yeah,
trash. Uh,
yeah,
the videos are not consistent, but I'm just putting out content and having fun
yeah,
doing
yeah.
it. So, I
There
mean,
you go.
yeah.
Like I haven't made any money doing this.
Oh
Like
yeah, no.
I've spent money doing it, of course.
Yeah,
If
a lot of
if
money.
I yeah, like if I wasn't passionate about it, if I didn't enjoy it, we wouldn't be talking. You know, I
Right.
wouldn't. We wouldn't have a YouTube channel. I wouldn't have Instagram. I wouldn't be on the forums.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not really about the money. Like it's not about making the money.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, good. Yeah.
like
No, yeah, I mean, I'm still like 150 subs away from even be able to get to monetize stuff, which is great. I'm
yeah,
excited to see if it happens or not.
yeah,
Um,
that'd be cool.
Because yeah, I would like to make have some income coming in while I'm not working, but that's all
YouTube
right.
money.
Yeah, that's right, big time. Uh, so what's I mean, do you have any goals with YouTube? What was the motivation behind it?
um, a couple of different things. I don't know. This was like way before I started a YouTube channel, but it's probably like what sparked the idea of like, oh, making YouTube videos might be kind of fun.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've heard of a channel called like Dude Perfect.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
right. Well, for anyone who hasn't, it's just like their whole YouTube channel is just like 4 or 5 friends, and they just do like various trick shots, and
Yeah,
that's their whole
they had
channel,
a phone app.
and that's their job.
Yeah, they do everything.
So yeah, and I was watching them. This was years ago, and I was just like, man, like what an awesome life where you just hang out with your friends and just goof around, and that's how you make money, and they make a
Yeah.
lot of money doing it. And that was just like, huh, you know, like maybe like making videos would be fun. And then that's just kind of like been in the back of my head for a long time. And not too long ago, because as you can tell, like I just started making YouTube videos.
Hmm.
um I was just kind of thinking like, because like what started me wanting to make it, the first thing like I really wanted to do was like I have a series on YouTube called like Collecting on a Budget,
Hmm.
and that was the what made me like want to put content out there, because as I said before, just kind of like my upbringing and how I started collecting and how I collected, I felt it was like one of the things I was maybe a little bit better at was just always trying to like find value and just getting like being really cost efficient
Hmm.
and smart with how I use my money. And I thought that was like something I could help teach other people and kind of like give back a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's how it started, and I'm still kind of trying to find, I don't know, who I am as a YouTuber, is
Right.
figure out how I want to do it and what I'm doing. And
Right. I mean, I
I
just
think
started 2 weeks ago, and I think my go-to is
yeah,
going to be these podcasts. I'm doing these openings and all that. And to be honest, I'm not
yeah,
really
yeah,
like enjoying making opening videos. I love opening packs; it's my favorite thing. But recording it and
yeah,
trying to make it like fun, like it's just not for me. I love this podcast thing though; it's so much fun connecting with people and doing that. So yeah, finding that little niche of what you enjoy is really important for this. Because yeah, I think that I mean, I'm extremely reckless with my budget in Pokemon and what I spend and all that. Like, it's just, I mean, thankfully it's worked out, but it's not going to work out forever. So, yeah, that's a very important thing to do because, people like that we've all watched SM Pratt, Gem Mint, Z&G, all these guys, they've been doing it for a while. They got some good items. They got a lot of money involved in rotating constantly. So they don't really need to worry about, ooh, do I spend $500 here, $200 there? And they don't, that's what they do. So, especially now with how crazy the market is, having someone to educate people and focus on budgeting and really paying attention to every penny spent on this stuff, it goes a long way. So that's good that you're doing that.
Yeah.
So, after completing your goals, which you just said you did,
pretty close.
Pretty
just
close.
A couple like E-series hollows that I want to pick up.
What are you doing now then? What are you just looking for edges to make money? You a dirty flipper like I am?
Well, I started moving on to like rare promos and graded cards. So I sent off like quite a few cards to PSA and CVC. And I'm going to get those back. Yeah. And then I started trying to get like rare promos and because after like WotC and Nintendo or I guess all EX series I liked. And sorry, someone's calling me. Yeah, hi. You want to talk to them? I'm just gonna put my phone.
Welcome to the podcast.
Airplane mode. No. We're not talking right now. Okay, sorry.
No worries. I'll probably leave that in.
Yeah, what was the thing? So like after EX series, there's like it's only like sprinklings of sets I really like, and there were no sets where like I wanted the whole set. But I've always had an interest in like promos, especially some of like the rare ones. So, you like what I have it right here. Like one of my recent pickups, let's see, these two was this Illusions Zora card. This I posted this on Instagram, so you might have seen it. So that was a pretty big purchase for me, and I really like that card because it's Suicune and Mew in the artwork. So it's pretty sick to have like my two favorite Pokemon in one card. And then another one was this Championship Charizard in a PSA 10.
Oh yeah, the one that the Dragon, what is it? Dragon Frontiers or
EX Dragon?
EX Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought two of the Charmeleons because I'm a patron to SM Pratt, and he said to buy these things. So I bought two, and I flipped one, and for twice what I paid. So I already made my money back, and I have one now, a Charmeleon.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just got 9s. You got, that was a 10?
I have a 10, graded 10, and a mint raw copy, which I think is maybe a PSA 8.
Good buys.
Yeah, I think so too, especially because I was hyping on them pretty hard. It's actually I posted about this on the E4 forums, but the first time I tried to buy a PSA 10 Championship Charizard, I got an empty package in the mail.
Oh.
And it was the most amount of money I ever spent on a card.
Yeah.
So it was just like this big eBay battle. It took like a month for me to get my money back. It was pretty crazy. Yeah, it was really frustrating. And I was like, there it goes. Like, that was my chance. And it's gone. And then Bakna from Discord just like linked me like a Facebook marketplace. Someone was selling one and it ended up costing me like probably an extra $300 Canadian to get this one. But I'm just like, this is just like a blessing that I'm like getting a second chance at getting this card. So I need to snag it up. But before that card arrived in the mail, man, I was on edge. I was just like, what if I lose this one again? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I've never had that happen to me, thankfully.
Yeah,
only one time I had a guy buy a base set booster pack for me, and then he returned it with one of those Hidden Fates, like Misty's twerking cards or whatever, the meme card, and then he wrote Team Rocket Gang on the package. And I was like, this isn't gonna fly. So I showed it to eBay, like, Yeah, you can have your money back, and we're
Wow.
gonna give this guy whatever. So I don't know, but yeah, eBay's usually been pretty good to me about that stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy was, but he's a piece of shit, and hopefully he doesn't buy from anybody else. So
Yeah, really, that's horrible.
yeah,
I haven't got that unlucky as a seller yet.
hmm
Maybe it's like once or twice someone was just like, "Oh, it didn't arrive." And then,
right.
yeah. Aside from all the sales I've done, it's very negligible.
Okay, so your what's your like other than the first edition Charizard, what's your
Mhm.
favorite piece in your collection?
Oh well, the two cards I just showed you
Those
are
two are
definitely quite up there.
yeah.
Yeah. I bought some cards just in case you ask questions like this. I graded these myself. So the Pikachu Victory Medals are some of my favorite
Ooh,
cards. I
very
love these,
nice.
and I bought these a long time ago, but sent these three off to get graded, and they all came back tens. So I'm very excited about that because they're like cheap trophy cards. I've been recommending Victory cards to everyone for the longest time, and now they've gone up so much in price, and now people are like, "Oh, maybe I should have bought those."
Yeah, I bought like two second place 2005s or sixes,
Mm-hmm.
and I just said I think I sent them to Beckett because they look perfect, so I might get like a black label or something.
Okay.
But yeah, I wish I bought a lot more of those because yeah, they're expensive now
Yeah,
and they're pretty cool. I'm
they are. I absolutely love them. I bought loads of them.
okay, so that's what you're building a position in, huh? All right, that's good
No,
to know.
well, yeah, some little insider trader information.
Good, good. How much? How many do you have? Would you share?
Yeah, sure, why not? I bought of this one. I think this is 2009,
hmm
the 2009 gym ones. I bought five complete sets,
hmm
all mint, and then I think I had a couple extras. I think I had like two extra silvers and like an extra bronze.
hmm
So I'm selling, or I'm not selling. Sorry, I'm sending every single complete set to PSA, and I think one of the extra silvers to PSA,
hmm
and the other two. I sold one of the, like I sold the bronze on eBay, and then the other like raw silver. I think I just didn't think it was in good enough condition to send a PSA. And then there's the 2006, 2007 ones. Um, I think I had like 10, maybe more of the silvers and five of the gold.
hmm
Again, all raw mint.
Yeah.
Um, and then I had an English silver one.
Oh,
But
there's
I like
English ones?
Japanese. So
I didn't know there was English ones. Okay,
yep.
that's cool. Yeah, my only buyout that I did was I bought the secret rare Mewtubes at like $50, and I just sent them to
Oh yeah.
CGC, and they got destroyed in grades. They're like sevens and eights, so I'm not gonna make any
Are
money
they
on them.
English?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those. Yeah. That's another thing I bought a lot of. At least for like my spending power.
hmm
I bought quite a few of the Japanese ones and English ones, and the English ones, they're rough. Like
Yeah.
I would get them back, and I a lot of them have like the white speckling,
Yep.
like printing error on the back, and
hmm
I don't know why that's like an issue with this exact card.
Yeah.
I've seen it on PSA tens, which is weird,
hmm
but yeah, I bought a good amount of those too. That was also a really good card.
Yeah, and the centering on them suck too, but oh well.
Yeah,
I'll just wait until I can make a little bit of money on them and then sell them. But it's a great
they're
card too. I mean,
oh absolutely that one and the armored Mewtwo were like cards I was saying I wanted since like 5 years. I've been saying I wanted that like an armored
yeah,
Mewtwo
I don't
card.
even
So
have
when
an
it
armor
came out,
Mewtwo. Yeah, I need to get one
sorry,
of those. I don't even have an armor Mewtwo. I need to get
don't
one of
have
them.
an armored. You got to get
No.
yeah. You and all your viewers, you got to get on this armored Mewtwo train. It's actually this is one thing I've been talking about in like my collecting on a budget series. I probably talked about this one item like three or four times on my YouTube channel because I think it's just so good. But the English tin that has the armored Mewtwo
hmm
is stupid good value. It's like free money. I every time I see one, I just buy one.
What is it?
Like
What's in it?
so here actually I'll show you what it looks like. I've got an empty tin right here.
Okay.
So this I think people like overlook this because they don't even understand what's inside of it. But This is what it
Oh,
looks
it's a
like. You'll see it in the store.
lunchbox.
Yeah, they're like one of the lunchbox
I
tins.
never even touched those. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's because again, I'm always looking for value, so I'm like I always like inspect like what the releases are, what they hold, and like. But yeah, the reason that's so good because there's that clone Charizard promo where it's got like from the movie, so it's not. It's like, do you know which one I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah, so it's got like the dark stripes on the back of it
Mm-hmm.
because in the first Mewtwo or the first Pokemon movie, Mewtwo makes a bunch of evil clones, and the evil
Right.
clones have like dark markings on them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's clone Charizard promo in there. There's armored Mewtwo, and then just like a Pikachu promo. And the retail price at like Walmart for this tin, just furiously typing, the retail price at like a Walmart for this tin is like what the price of those three promos is.
What is that promo called? The Charizard one. Charizard
Um,
promo.
it's like a Sun and Moon promo. Yeah, I'll be able to find it pretty quick.
Oh yeah, it's like
So,
CGI.
yeah,
Oh, that's the
SM
Japanese
two
one.
two six,
Okay.
and there is a Japanese one, and I think you got that one at like 7-Eleven or something.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah, so it's like you get a Charizard, an Armored Mewtwo, and a Pikachu promo, and then you get 5 booster packs. And again, those promos just like
Pay for the
buy it
tin.
now price on eBay is what that tin costs. So you
Wow.
buy that tin, and all the packs are free. You're at cost already without touching with no luck. That's another thing where I'm like, I think when you're trying to collect on a budget, you're trying to find value, you should be eliminating gambling because
Yeah.
gambling is like designed to make you lose over time. And
Right.
something like this, I think, is perfect because you buy it and you're immediately at cost, which is so good. It's just free.
Yeah, I also really like those. Like, is it the Umbreon and Deoxys promos, or like the Espeon?
Yes,
Those are
I
beautiful.
bought I bought 5 of the Umbreon ones and 4 of the Espeon ones.
Yeah, that's a great promo
Because
as
again,
well.
I paid like $6-7 for them on eBay, just like the raw copies, which is super cheap.
Yeah, that's when I didn't. Like, I looked at, had like a bunch in my cart and just didn't do it. I don't know why, but yeah, those are cool. Those are really
They
nice.
haven't even gone up, so you can. It's not too late.
Right, yeah.
They do. They're not great centering. That's one thing I noticed when I got them. There's a couple cards that, yeah, centering is always like an ongoing frustration, especially with promos. But yeah, and then that tin has like Cosmic Eclipse, 2 team-up packs, and then evolutions, and I think it's like Guardians Rising. So like most of those packs are really good.
Yeah, Evolution sells me. I love that set. It's a great set.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you looking for now then? I mean, it looks like you're just looking for, you're being very savvy and investment oriented on this stuff. So you're treating it as a portfolio type thing right now, it seems. Is there something collection wise that you want to add?
There's always stuff. There's always stuff to collect. Right now, yeah, it's the stuff I want to collect right now is mostly new releases because anything that's already out, I probably already own it if it's something I'm looking to collect. So this is also a big reason why I'm selling more and I'm focusing more on like trying to make more money back because like I'm pretty done with collecting, or not done, but you know what I mean. Like back when I used to when I first started, like in my collection of cards, like I'm never gonna sell. Like the numbers in the thousands, but now the cards that I'm looking for, it's like 20 cards I'm missing. So I like needing to spend much less, so I have more room to like try and make money. It's like a bit easier,
Right.
because if you're like buying cards and putting them in your collection to never sell ever, how do you make money?
Right.
So I'm moving to that one. This is you know, PokemonRadar exclusive information from Sacari. The one thing I'm looking at right now is, you know, those Japanese VMAX Charizard decks
Yes.
that have been out. Well, you can pre-order the next one, which is you can get all 3 of the starter decks plus like a bunch of other accessories in it, and it's like $50 US, and the value is like obscene because like you sell everything except the VMAXs and you make all your money back. It's like you get Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard VMAX cards at no cost.
Yeah.
So it's just like the value there is just nuts.
Yeah, that's what I did with Champions Path ETBs. I'm selling the pack lots, getting my money back, and holding on to the promos. And the
Yeah.
sleeves. The sleeves are great. Those are sleepers, by the way. The
Oh,
Charizard.
they have the Charizard on it.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah, those
I
are
can see that.
sleepers. Um, okay, yeah, very cool. I mean, I see that's something that I struggle with and it frustrates me is I try to get like do that with new products, and I always end up just like opening it or like oh, I always think to myself I could spend that $3,000 on one vintage card that I would really like having, and I would probably end up doing much better financially with.
It's not a bad purchase.
But it's just like the modern stuff is so enticing to open and enjoy and do the and
It is.
gamble for that $500 Charizard or whatever is in the set.
Yeah,
So
I
I
am
struggle with that a lot.
a gambler. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's just kind of like my mindset of
Hmm.
both how I was raised and how like I was kind of forced to start collecting.
Hmm.
So it's just something like I've always been doing.
Well, good. Yeah. Yeah. I think I mean, I bought and sold so many things that I told myself I would never let go. But my true collection is so small. It's literally a base set binder with first edition Shadowless and Unlimited, and then I have my Scream promos that I got while I was in Japan, and that's literally it. Everything else is up
Awesome.
for sale. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah, my collection is very small. It's very small.
yeah. My collection's probably pretty like stuff like there isn't a price point I would ever sell at. It's
Hmm.
it's like first to second gen completed Pokedex and like a bunch of my numbered WotC promos, and then just mostly random cards and like random promos.
Hmm. Yeah, get that pen. Uh,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Um, well, I think. I mean, is there any what's coming up next for you? What's the next move other than those Japanese decks, and what's going on YouTube? You got any new series coming out, or are you gonna stick to this budget thing?
Well, there's all kinds of like recently I've actually been doing openings because I recently wanted to sell or sorry not sell send like a bunch of stuff to PSA.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, maybe I want to like try and find some stuff, and also I wanted to like shrink the physical size of some of the stuff I was holding because it was just taking up too much room. So I wanted to open it and just like take out the loose cards, and the packaging takes up so much room.
Mm-hmm.
So I have probably uploaded like a good amount of opening stuff on YouTube. Um, and I started like a fairly new series where I talk about like obscure cards, and it's just like a 1 minute video.
Okay,
So it's just like
nice.
makes it easier for me to get a bit more content out there, and then it's very they're because they're so like bite sized, they're really watchable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try to keep my opening video short because I can't stand the 25-minute 5 packs opening. Like, it's too much. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
skip.
I
I
try
skip
to
through the whole thing. Like, keep it short,
get the
go
filler
fast.
out
Yeah,
where there's like one card, two, and it's just like, oh my god.
it's too stressful.
Yeah, it's just trying to be more realistic with like your time on the video.
Yeah. So you did mention CGC earlier.
Yes.
But are you sending most of your stuff to PSA? Because I stopped sending the PSA. I can't. I can't wait. I don't care what slab it's in personally. I just want to get stuff graded and move on.
To me, like I'm being like I would be willing to send anything to PSA.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'm not willing to send anything to CGC.
Mm.
So a lot of the stuff I'm sending to CGC because I haven't gotten a feel for like how they grade yet. It's just from like other people because I still haven't even got my first submission yet.
I just got my, like they shipped today. Like I haven't gotten it back physically, but I looked at the grades and I got obliterated.
Oh yeah. So that's why I was saying I'm not willing to send just anything. So I only send things where I'm just like if I send it to PSA, I would be expecting a 10.
Mm-hmm.
If I so so I was very picky on like I only want like mint cards from sending to CGC because I don't want that to happen. I don't want to get like low grades on cards from a grading company that aren't fully established yet, where maybe buyers are kind of looking at it like, I don't know how I feel about this grading company, and that's like a 7. Nah,
Right.
I don't want that. So I was really picky on what I sent off, and I wasn't really willing to send off anything that was like I only had 1 or 2 copies of. So it was just like very good condition stuff. And I wouldn't feel horrible if it came back not a grade I was expecting, or if they came back and for whatever reason I just didn't feel good about the company.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a couple, not too many. My first sub was like 15, and I just sent in another sub that was 30.
Yeah. Okay. I just sent them a bunch of Japanese cards, but no, this first
Oh, and
one.
the Japanese cards you got obliterated on?
No, those haven't been graded yet. I
Okay.
sent base 2000. I sent like random WotC hollows. Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do subgrades though on my first one, which I'm kind of upset now because that's the
Yeah,
whole reason I'm kind of grading with them. But I got a
I
pristine
did.
10 fourth print Bulbasaur, which I won't know if it's actually a perfect card because I didn't do subgrades. But
Oh,
so I got like
yeah,
a near perfect, I guess, Bulbasaur fourth print. So I think that's the most valuable card in that entire submission now, even though I have like
yeah,
I sent them 2 pre-release Clefables and some other random stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of bullish on them because I just want cards graded. I want them slabbed. I
it's,
want to
yeah,
sell stuff. I want to protect stuff,
yeah,
and
exactly.
um,
It's
yeah, it's a struggle. PSA.
it's pretty interesting because I kind of feel like if you're a buyer and you're really picky on what company, uh, like if you're really picky on like only really wanting PSA, I think very quickly you're gonna find you're not gonna have much of a choice
Mm-hmm.
because PSA is just not gonna be turning out cards as quickly as CGC, and people like you
Mm-hmm.
are sending to CGC because if you're a business and you're trying to make money and PSA takes a full year to get your cards back, you'll go out of business in that time.
Right.
So it's like if you want to, if you're flipping cards and that's your business, you want them back quickly. So you're gonna be sending them to CGC, which means like the buyers just aren't gonna have a pool of card or PSA cards to buy from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I think a lot of people are kind of gonna have to get used to CGC
Yeah.
because from what I've seen, they've been doing really well,
Mm-hmm.
and I like pretty much everything they've done, and I don't think they've done anything wrong. Like I don't think they're going away anytime soon,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just how quickly they're turning out cards.
Yeah.
I,
I mean,
yeah,
price wise, they're not that too far off right now. I mean, they're still. That's the other thing, though. It creates opportunities for buyers that
yeah,
just want to get the cards and potentially cross grade. So,
mm-hmm.
there are still opportunities to get these CGC cards and even Beckett cards at a lower value than PSA, and then cross grade if you want, or just sit on it. Because,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's something I missed the boat on with Beckett. I wish I had jumped on some first edition base hollows, a year ago that were just way undervalued compared to PSA, and now they've caught
Mm-hmm.
up. Like there's
Yeah, I
not that
love
much
them.
of a difference at all. So
Yeah,
yeah, same story with CGC, but I think that time passed real quick. Prices are actually pretty strong with them. Um, so
yeah.
we'll see where it goes, but I'm bullish.
I was
I
just
like them.
yeah. So far, I like them too, but I don't want to speak too heavily because I haven't even got my first submission back yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, okay, I want some cards back before Christmas because there might be like a big uptick in sales around that time, as there usually is. And there's like probably no way I'm the only one who had that mindset of I want cards back before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably lots of other people who had the same thought, and they probably also sent a CGC for like
Yeah.
that exact same reason.
Yeah.
So I think there's a good chance, just because the holidays are around the corner,
Mm-hmm.
we're suddenly going to get a lot of CGC cards.
Yeah, that's a good thought. Yeah, because I plan on sending another like 100 to 200 cards to them here soon. I'm just putting together
Mm-hmm.
the submissions. So
Yeah,
and I know a lot of people that are sending hundreds of cards to them because they're like
yeah,
you said, they're running businesses. They need to move inventory, and
mm-hmm.
and honestly, it's worth losing 10-15% on a card by getting it from CGC instead of PSA
Yeah,
because you need to keep that money flowing. So good opportunity for buyers, good opportunity for sellers. It's
I agree.
they came in at a great time, and hopefully they can keep it up. I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we get an email from them saying, "Oh, we need to push back our 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 lead times and all that." So I'm just waiting for that moment. But yeah,
Yeah,
well, cool. Well, good. I think we touched on a lot, dude, and
yeah,
and I'm definitely gonna take advantage of the opportunities that you brought up here. So make sure everyone pre-order those theme decks. And shoot, what was the other one? The Armor Mewtwo's. I'm gonna go to Target tomorrow
Yeah,
and look
Mewtwo
for
Strikes
those.
Back tins.
Yep,
They're getting harder to find, but if I'm in a Walmart or something and I see one, I don't care. I
you
just buy
pick
it
it up.
now.
Yeah. Are you opening them all?
Yes, they're too much fun to open. They're the only thing I will say about them is with like a lot of these promos or these pack like uh, English packaging.
Hmm.
It's getting the promos out sucks. I hate the way they package the promos, and a lot of times they like will damage the card slightly. It's
Yeah, it's a
that's the
hassle.
only negative, but it makes it harder to get PSA 10s. But when you do get a 10, they're generally quite low pop.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did see the Armor Mewtwo up for like 130 or so, maybe more. Was it
The
200?
10,
Yeah. How much were they? I forget.
oh, that'd be US, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
they're pretty good. Yeah,
You guys deal
cheap.
with loonies and toonies over there.
We do, we
Um,
do.
so do you have any stories you want to share? You had anything else on your mind that you wanted to?
Oh my god, I'm full of stories.
Let's get something. Let's
Um,
shoot a story at me.
okay, I'll go back to because this is really important to me. And it was something I kind of only realized on like why Pokemon's important. So
Hmm.
important to me. So it's just kind of like I was thinking back to like how I got started into getting back into collecting and like why Pokemon was so important to me and like why I love it so much. And it was just like I was almost finding it weird. I had to like think about it, like why do I have such a strong attachment to this? And I was kind of thinking back to like because like I don't talk about this often, but I've very recently like been a lot more comfortable talking about it. But like when I was younger, my life was like really horrible. I'm not
Oh,
gonna lie.
okay.
Yeah, and it was just like if you like lit a match, if I lit a match in like this room, like the light it gave off would be like negligible. It wouldn't seem bright. But if it was pitch black in my room and I lit a match, that match would seem very bright in
Okay.
comparison. So back at like growing up, when my life was just so dark and shitty, and Pokemon was such an awesome thing to me.
Hmm.
Coming back, and I was like, sorry, I'm just thinking if like I actually want to tell this because yeah, I will.
Well,
But
hey, share with me if you'd like. If you want me to edit it out, I'll be happy to edit it out. But
no, I just decided I'll share it. But
yeah.
I've literally never. You're gonna be the first person to know this. I've never told anyone this, and obviously never told anyone either of these things. But I remember in elementary school, I had a friend who I used to play Pokemon with, and there was one point where we got held up at knife point. Yeah, and then a while later, like years later, a different friend of mine from elementary school, like actually did get stabbed.
Mm,
And the reason and I was just thinking like, that could have been me.
right.
That so easily could have been me, and it still can be me.
Yeah.
And it was just around that time where I was thinking, like I was having a big rejection of like all this like violence and abuse and shit, where I'm just like, I need to like move away from this. So I was trying to find and like create positivity,
Hmm.
and that was also around the time where like a little bit later I started finding Pokemon. There were other things like I did and found and started like improving my life and whatnot, but that was I think that ended up being a big reason why like I was drawn to Pokemon so much. Like the
Hmm.
reason I shared that specific story is because like even like times where I was like having fun with my friend playing Pokemon and then there was violence in the background, like it was something that like kind of always loomed over me,
Yeah.
just negativity. So yeah, Pokemon was just like this really bright thing that I don't know, just gave me so much enjoyment and was just overall really positive. I found that's like a really big reason why I like it so much, because now in my life, like I'm just like don't have room for not great people or
Hmm.
like nonsense, and I just find Pokemon just keeps on becoming like more and more important in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that we all share together. I don't know if you
Hmm.
listened to the podcast I did with Dizzle yet.
Of course,
This past
yeah,
week.
I relate very heavily to Dizzle,
Yeah. And
very much so. I've talked to him a little bit about it, and
mhm.
also how he's much more open about his past than I am.
Yeah.
I honestly really struggle to talk about it,
Hmm.
but his podcast. Like I saw your the one with Squeaks, and I was like, that was my favorite one yet.
Yeah.
And then your next one with Dizzle, and I was like, oh, we got a competitor. Like that was really I love hearing about. I'm almost selfish because I don't like talking about my past, but I love hearing about other people talk about their lives. It's really interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, this is like something that we all connect with. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's what nostalgia. I mean, not even just Pokemon, just nostalgia is. That's what it does for people, and that's why things are so
Absolutely.
expensive. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a powerful thing for us. I mean, I've talked about my stuff before, and we'll continue to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I said with Dizzle, it's a personal choice whether or not you share things or not. For some people, it helps. Some people, it doesn't. Um, but yeah, I mean, Pokemon saved my life. It's a simple fact,
Yeah.
and I
Really.
don't need to explain that to people because everyone here understands. They understand it, and it's a powerful thing. Pokemon is beautiful. It's beautiful. It sucks that it's so expensive now,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's another reason why I'm doing YouTube and doing this is because I've personally been priced out of the market. I can't buy the things that I want. And I'm not going to
Yeah.
force myself to want modern stuff or force myself to want these things I don't have an attachment to.
Hmm.
Sure, I'll enjoy opening new stuff and maybe collecting binder sets again at some point. But um, I'm doing this so I can continue to be engaged in Pokemon, engaged in the hobby, engage with people like yourself,
Yeah.
all different backgrounds, all different stories, because there's something we can connect on and connect with someone out there that's listening. That's all. That's the only reason we do this stuff is we want one person to smile. I don't care how many people hate on me. Create a bunch of YouTube accounts to give me dislikes. Um,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care. Like, do it more. If all I need is that one person to get some sort of happiness out of it. So
Yeah.
that's something that Pokemon has done for a lot of us. I don't know if you saw on E4, Scott Pratt posted 10 years, 10,000 posts
Yeah. That
for
was cool.
E4, and like, I mean, it's amazing what I'm sure he doesn't even realize it, and the people that started E4 and the people from back then. But if it wasn't for them, like, none of us would
Yeah.
be
Oh,
here like we are today. Sure, Pokemon would still be huge. We would, but there wouldn't be this connection that we have. So like this community is incredible, and we gotta keep that positivity rolling and and
yeah.
just show it off as much as possible. So um, yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons I'm doing this too is so people can share their stories and get that out there because it'll help the next person and paying it forward. But yeah, that's crazy. I can't imagine getting. I mean, was that how young were you guys when you got held up at knife point there?
I was 8 years old.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
But yeah, that was just one thing. It was just that one happened to be related to Pokemon, which is why
Yeah,
I picked that specific story.
yeah,
But it's also part of why I wanted to do YouTube because and specifically the collecting on a budget because that was the way I felt I could give back and help others the most.
hmm
Because like when I get a comment and someone says like, "Oh, I love this," or like, "Oh, that's really great information," like I'm going to use that. Like, oh, like I love it because that's exactly why I did it because I was hoping like I could help people, and I was just thinking back like when I was collecting in university before I got a job and was more financially stable and could uh, spend a little bit more freely.
hmm
I was just thinking about, man, people are doing that now, just getting into the hobby, and like the prices are here and their knowledge is here. Like I want to teach them, help them out. Like
hmm
maybe you can't afford this. Here are some cheaper options. Yeah,
Yeah, that's that's one reason why I really hope that Pokemon does evolutions, but for like Neo Genesis, because
oh
that
yeah,
that would be huge for so many people, like even myself. Um, that's something that I never got to collect or open because it was so expensive, even when I got into the hobby, and now it's crazy. So if I
is
had
that
the,
one of your favorite set?
well, I didn't even know they existed as a kid. Like I didn't know it was a thing. But Silver version was my favorite. Lugia is my favorite. Like, I love that stuff. So getting the chance to just rip open packs and just build a huge sweet collection of like a Neo Genesis set, whether it's, you know, with the reprint, I don't care. Like, that would just be the greatest thing ever. And I don't see any reason why Pokemon wouldn't do it. That it's just a matter of time, I think. Since they did it with the base set, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, it was a great set. I had so much fun with evolutions because I think that brought a lot of people back into the hobby.
That brought me back.
But
yeah.
yeah, I was lucky enough to get in before that, so like I had built up some knowledge before we had the big boom, which was really nice to have before prices started moving. That like I had some idea of what was going on.
Yeah.
And I just had so much fun opening CP6, the Japanese version. That was probably the most fun I've ever had opening packs ever. Like, even maybe more fun than when I was a kid, because it was just like the fun of it right now in the moment, plus like waves of nostalgia.
Yep.
Like, it was so awesome.
And instead of getting one card every other day, you get to open up a box.
3 booster boxes in a sitting.
Yeah,
that's my opening CP6.
I bought a case, sat down with my brother, and we ripped through the whole thing. And
yes,
it was phenomenal. So good. It was phenomenal, man. And I've got one case left, and I wish like I had bought more before they were like $1,000. Because I can't buy those. I'm not going to. Like, I'd rather spend that on something else.
I have 2 boxes left. After I open my 3, I'm like, that was great. I'm gonna buy another 3 and just kind of hold on to them. And as soon as they arrived, I'm like, I can't open 1.
Yeah.
And I still have the 2 left. And I remember SM Proud was talking. He's like, you know what? When they said 1,000, I'm gonna throw some of them up on eBay. And like right after that, a Korean box sold for like $750.
What?
Yeah.
The bot, like one box.
Canadian. Yeah. Korean CP6 booster box sold for like $750 Canadian.
I had those were like $30 when they came out. I bought like I 5
paid
of each.
$30 Canadian.
Yeah. And
I know.
I held on to a couple. I remember selling them to someone on E4 who was looking for them for like $100 each or something. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah.
But really,
you might have known something.
I think I have 2 Korean Charizards still.
Like, maybe you should hold off on putting those up for 1,000 if Korean's selling for that much.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's pretty wild.
Wow, I didn't know that. They definitely have like the best box art though, because their Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur just like super plain. It looks like base set 2 kind of. But wow, I didn't know that. I should have paid attention to that. That's crazy.
It was just thrown up in an auction. I'm like, oh well, I'm curious to see. Like, I actually opened up some Korean CB6 too, but I didn't keep any of it sealed.
Okay.
As my watch list ended, like, I don't know, maybe a week ago, and I was like, it ended for like $750. Are you kidding?
That's amazing.
Blew my mind. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I sold off my last Japanese one, and I just have that case left. So I don't know what I'll do with it. I'll probably sit on it, I hope. But...
right before they've like almost doubled in price recently, and right before that, I was looking at the price of the box, and I was looking at the prices of like the graded cards, and I was like, there's a bit of a discrepancy here. Like, I actually think it might be worth buying one of these boxes at market price and then grading them.
Yeah, it made no sense.
And then they doubled the price like a day later, and I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah. No, it's well, that's the thing that sucks. Like, I looked at those, and Hills Wholesale Gaming had like 173 cases. So I was like, I should just buy like $10,000 worth of evolutions. And I didn't, when they were like 500, 600 a case. And obviously if I did, I would have doubled my money at this point. But if I had spent that on a base set versus Charizard, I would have like quadrupled my money. So even though that's like doing incredible, there were so many other things you still could have bought that would do better.
Yeah.
But yeah, evolutions to the moon.
Pretty much. CP6 at least.
CP6, yeah. I think I have a couple Korean Charizards actually.
I do too. I have 2 of them.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I saw a raw copy sell for like close to $100 Canadian.
Wow, I gotta go find those.
Korean CP6. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, we've just gone over an hour here. That's where I like to kind of trail these things off. But I really appreciate you coming on and sharing the stories and all that. It's always a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
But if you guys haven't already, subscribe to Sacari on YouTube. Learn how to properly budget your Pokemon purchases, unlike me, who just recklessly buys things and then sells them with no reason and then regrets it. And also follow him on Instagram at what is it? Pokeboo?
Poke_boo.
Poke_boo. Boo Saga. One of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah. Also a
Hey.
DBZ fan.
Yeah, PokemonRadar. Dragon Ball Radar. That's where it came from.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's that's the logo too. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you again, man, for coming on short notice. Really appreciate it.
Problem.
Hope this resonates with some people. I think it will. And yeah, I'll see you around on E4 Discord.
Yeah, awesome. I would look forward to talking to you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.